Hello everyone, I'm the Selfwind. I've just blown in. And today we are back for more Seduce Me 2, The Demon War. Last time, I got kidnapped. Not good times, no. And I'm cursed, and things are bad. But, you know, look at my kick-ass room. My room is awesome. So, let us get back into it, shall we? Darkness surrounded my mind, my dreams remaining silent and hushed in the cool and calm black. No nightmares appeared, and no sounds were made. I was simply resting, and that was all my body needed. Well, I mean, I want something else. You don't know. I let my thoughts wander in my subconscious, thinking about what was going to happen now. What will the boys do when they realize I'm gone? You assume they're gonna realize I'm gone. What will he do? You know, he. The he that I'm going to marry. The he whose name I should really know. I imagined him finding a way through to the demon world and pulling me back to where I belonged, wrapping me in his arms and swearing never to let me go. That might be a bit of an exaggeration for Damien's skill level. I would be relieved, and he would be married, just as we planned. Wow, wishful thinking much. How unrealistic was that? See, at least my character is aware. Guess it's a nice fantasy to have. I had to be realistic right now. Exactly. I was stuck, and the only one who seemed to be able to send me back was Diana and her companions. Dan and her companions, the new rock band. Whoever they were. I had to trust them, whether I liked it or not. I'm sure it'll be fine. Eventually I did rise from my sleep, somehow fully refreshed and calm. How could that have been? A big comfy bed and a very nice room.
Did you have a good rest?
Ah! Hi, you. I turned my head to see Diana at the door, arms crossed and leaning against the doorway's archway. She had a look of concern and pure curiosity on her face as she awaited my answer. Yes?
Good. A good rest is always important, especially to humans.
Uh-huh. Yeah. What about demons? I mean, Damien seems to enjoy a good sleep.
We rest as well, but it's not sleep
Uh-huh.
like you humans do.
Cool.
We simply rest with our eyes open.
That sounds awful. How'd your eyes just not get super dried out? Why? Yeah, that's a good question.
It's easier to avoid getting killed when your eyes are open.
Ah! Okay, fair point. I gulped. Were demons really that paranoid? Or were they paranoid for a reason? I'm gonna guess paranoid for a reason. Also, this explains Diana's eyes going red occasionally. She had some Visine, girl. I mean, I can go to the drugstore. Diana shook her head and stepped into the room, closing the door behind her.
So we need to find another way to get you back to the human world. It won't be easy, but I believe it can be done by tonight at the latest.
Wow, you are on your game, girl. Tonight? Really? Diana nodded and crossed her arms again, leaning on one hip.
It will take time to get our shadow agents to gather the necessary supplies, but they are not hard to obtain, being that we're in a position of power.
Cool.
You must be lucky.
Lucky, unlucky. I mean, I guess luck's luck, technically. What do you mean? Diana sighed before casting a short spell under her breath. In front of me appeared a floating map, almost like a hologram. It showed me an entire world with mountains, plains, and forest, and it was all surrounded by sea and water. Diana pointed at a marker that had a purple banner at its tip. It was marked in the center of some mountains and forest area. It was also the very center of the map.
That is where we are currently.
Cool.
The center of the abyssal plains.
Good to know. Also, very fancy trick to what amounts to a mall map and you are here circle. Diana then ran her finger in a circle around the marker, showing a perimeter around it.
Everything we need for the spell is within this area. It will just take time to gather the materials and prepare it.
Cool. I nodded, understanding the situation. I was going to, hopefully, be able to go home tonight, which was better than not going home at all. So, what should I do until then?
My suggestion? Stay in this room. I can mark this room as off-limits so that no demon may enter that would confuse you for an intruder and kill you.
No offense, how many humans do you have in the castle? Just say, don't kill the human. All you have to do, really. I gulped. I did not want to die. No. I have things to live for. Note the dress. Which, by the way, I can't have a change of clothes. At least underwear. As Diana made the magical map disappear, she shrugged.
However, I cannot stop you from whatever you wish to do.
Really?
Just don't leave the castle.
So, leave the castle. Gotcha. Immediately. I nodded as she turned to leave. As she stepped out, Diane looked back to me with a reassuring look.
We'll get you back to the human world.
Woohoo!
I promise you that.
Thank you, my queen. Finally, she left me alone in the room. I let out a small sigh and looked up at the ceiling. I had to wait until tonight to actually do anything. What was I going to do? I don't know, take a nap, read a book, watch the fire. There has to be things to do. Part of me agreed with Diana's suggestion, wanting to stay in the room and be safe in case the guards didn't know who I was and would kill me on sight. Can I just, get a note from her explaining who I am? Feels like there has to be a better solution here. My curiosity, however, wouldn't leave me alone and wanted me to explore the castle. No. I was handed an opportunity to explore a castle in the demon world, and part of me did not want it to go to waste. We're not here to sightsee. I was torn on what to do. I'm not decent, stay put. I'ma stay in the room. It was better to be safe than sorry. Exactly. We have so much to live for. I fell back onto the bed and closed my eyes, contemplating taking a nap to make time go by faster. Yes, sleep. Staying in my room was the best option for me. Didn't we just discuss this? Both so that I wouldn't get lost and that I'd be okay in case the guards were on duty. As they had an intruder when I came here, I'm gonna guess so. I let out a small sigh before looking around the room. Was there anything I wanted to look at closer?
Excuse me.
Ah! Oh, bunny girl! Before I could find anything, I looked to the door toward the voice. Peeking in was the rabbit woman, cautiously remaining behind the door while looking at me.
Are you feeling okay?
No. Huh? Yeah, thank you? Okay, this is so not how I would word that, but it's not technically bad. Just makes it very awkward to read. Huh? Yeah, I am, thank you. Please, come in. I trusted this woman. Really? Why? Despite barely knowing her, she assisted me in coming to this room, and she was one of Diana's comrades, so I felt that I could put my trust in her. I mean, really? The woman nodded before stepping into the room and closing the door behind her. She turned to me and stood by the door.
I'm assuming Diana told you about the situation.
Yeah, the situation. Yeah, I'll be back home tonight. Parentheses, hopefully. That's the hope, anyway.
Yes, we sent our agents as soon as we knew what we had to gather. We're positive they will turn up before nightfall, and we'll be able to cast a gateway spell.
Perfect. Also, yay bunny girl, wearing a mask before we had to. I nodded and let out a sigh. It would be a long wait, but it would be worth it if it worked. The woman, however, took a step forward.
May I ask you something?
Okay. Actually, I wonder if it's a mask or if it's just that her skin turns black around the mouth and neck. I've never actually contemplated her character design before. I looked to the woman, slightly confused. Sure, go ahead. What is it?
Well,
Yes? I watched as the woman reached up and rubbed one of her ears, which would be nice to see. Almost in nervousness. What was she nervous about? Finally, she spoke again, releasing her ear.
would you mind if I asked you about the human world?
It's a mess. The human world? I say as I sip my tea, getting ready to spill some. Why would she be curious about the human world? She was a demon that looked like an anthropomorphic? Anthropomorphic. I know what the word means, I just have trouble pronouncing it. Rabbit. The woman hugged her large staff against her body as she shrugged.
How are things like in the human world? Is there equality amongst your races? I've only heard stories, but since you're a human yourself, you would know.
It depends on where you live. But not really. My mind ran back to the social life of the human world. At least in America, we claim to be equal. Claimed. But we had major prejudice amongst the races, whether we liked it or not. Yeah, but we could do better. I found myself to be on neutral ground, not wishing to be extreme on either opinion. Prejudice bad, come on, girl. But knowing the difference between what was morally right and wrong. I looked to the woman and shook my head, making her eyes widen slightly. We're not exactly equal. I mean, we try, but we're pretty divided. However, it's only one of many problems we face. The woman nodded before walking over and sitting down on the bed beside me.
I see. Are there major wars fought because of it?
To put it mildly. In a way, we have marches and movements, but we at least try not to escalate it to war where I live. Civil war, Mika? Aren't I supposed to be in college? It's better to resolve things without violence. Agreed, but it's not always possible.
That's smart. I hope that equality can be found in your world.
Me too. What about here? The woman shook her head, her smile turning a bit grim. I could tell that things were rough here, just from looking at her expression.
We have sort of a caste system here.
Okay.
What kind of demon you are determines what life you live. Demons of Lilith like Diana are usually royals and nobles, while animal demons like me are much, much lower in the ranks.
Well, that's stupid. I could hear her anger and shame, just from her voice alone. Were things really that bad here? Yeah, most places did away with feudalism for a frickin' reason. That's horrible. I'm so sorry.
It's alright. That's why I joined the rebellion. We intend to make changes, make it better. I want to be part of that and help fix things.
That's very noble of you. And look at that goofy grin. It's extremely early here, folks. There was confidence in her words that didn't match the look in her eyes. She knew something was off in what she said, but she expressed it anyway, as her reply to me. I didn't know whether or not to prod or keep silent. I wouldn't be here long, so I decided to keep my mouth shut. The woman shook her head out, as if she was scattering the thoughts from her mind, and looked at me.
So, you are getting married.
Uh-huh.
You must be excited to get back with
Very.
your family and soon-to-be partner.
Huh? Oh, yeah. I'm excited to go back. For a brief moment, I had nearly forgotten that I was getting married. How? My mind began to wander to the one who was waiting for me, making my heart ache. As I looked down at my lap, the rabbit woman looked down as well.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you upset. But you will be home soon.
Fingers crossed. I nodded. I shouldn't have let it get me down. But I really did miss being in the human world. I think anyone in my situation would understand, especially since I was a bride. I looked at my hand, seeing my engagement ring and imagining the wedding ring that was made for me replacing it. Soon enough, it would be on my finger, and I would be able to continue living my life as normal. Pulling myself out of my thoughts, I looked at the woman as she stood and bowed to me.
Well, I shall leave you be.
Mm-hmm.
I will bring food whenever it is ready, so that you don't starve.
Thank you! Thank you! I appreciate it. Nom nom nom, gimme gimme. With that, the woman left, leaving me alone in my room to wait. Back to my nap I go! I remained in my room until night came. I was given food which looked like soup. The woman who gave it to me apologized, letting me know that food was scarce until the upcoming harvest, which was a couple of days away. Being that I was only staying a day, I didn't mind much. I was more concerned over what I was given to eat. It's soup, how bad can it be? Looks perfectly fine. Actually looks quite tasty. It was some sort of stew with mysterious chunks swimming in its broth. It smelled surprisingly good, but who knew how it tasted? Well, one way to find out. Just eat it. Nom nom. I gulped. I had to try it. I had to eat it. I hadn't eaten in 2 days, even before I came to the demon world. How was my stomach not seriously growling? I was pretty certain Diana wouldn't poison me now, and I was fairly sure that she wouldn't serve me anything disgusting. Yeah, but Diana didn't serve you this. I lifted the spoon that was sitting in the broth, letting it capture some of the stew as it rose. I mean, it wasn't terribly scary to look at. I gulped and slowly brought the spoon to my lips, feeling the heat emanate from the stew. A knock rapped on my door, breaking me out of my train of thought. Huh? Come in. Oh, Dio just about to eat stew. The door opened to reveal Diana with a plate, holding things I recognized, bread and cheese. I let out a heavy sigh of relief before Diana laughed.
I suggest not trying that.
Oh.
As good as it smells, the taste would not sit well with you.
You don't know that. You don't know my taste. Instantly, I moved the bowl to the nearby table, thankful that I did not have to try it. Boo. I made a choice, gosh darn it. Diana handed me the plate and nodded, reassuring me that what was on it was indeed what it seemed.
It's not much, but it's human food. Eat up.
Nom. I will. I began to chow down, feeling the hunger in my stomach dissipate with each bite and swallow. The food I was eating, surprisingly, was delicious. As I began to crave something to drink, Diana chuckled and formed a small goblet in her hand, filled with clear liquid that I assumed to be water. I took it and drank it down, feeling my thirst quench before I let out a sigh. I feel so much better.
I can tell. Take a moment to finish eating, then we'll head for the ritual.
Woohoo! Ritual! I looked up to Diana, suddenly excited. Everything was prepared for? Was it possible to go home now? As if she read my mind, she smiled and nodded.
We finished the main preparations. We just need to head over and we'll start.
Woohoo! I couldn't continue eating. My mind went into an obsessive frenzy of wanting to go home. I stood up, moving the plate and goblet to a nearby table. Let's go.
Huh? Are you sure?
Uh-huh. Like I said, let's go. I nodded, not wanting to waste any more time. I needed to get home, and I was tired of waiting. Diana stared before nodding and heading for the door, opening it for me and exiting after me. As she closed the door behind her, I began to feel my heart flutter in relieved joy. I was heading home. Diana led me down the corridor to the war room, where I had originally arrived, to reveal the table covered in plates and artifacts of different kinds. None of it made sense to me, but I had to only assume it was what was needed for the spell to work. Diana walked to the table and took note of what she saw, nodding.
This should work.
Cool.
You're in doubt?
Yeah, you're in doubt? That's kind of a good question.
Have to be after the last time we tried sending her home. Do we have a human anchor?
No, you're on your own this time. But we'll make sure you survive casting it.
Time for an orgy?
This spell should work, however, because we'll be using energy material. It will only require a slice of your energy on top of these items, which
Cool.
your guard can refill immediately after this.
Uh-huh. Fill. Air quotes.
Just make sure you don't die casting it.
Hey, positive outcomes only there, Big Red. Diana smiled at her guard before turning to me.
So, are you ready to return home?
Fuck yeah. She didn't have to ask. I'm ready. Diana nodded once more, before turning back to the table. She lifted her arms over the surface and lowered her head, muttering under her breath.
O tenebris portas, apriat nobis, largiatur exidium, desiderium.
Latin. As she spoke, the table began to glow as she did. A dark purple aura began to surround her form as she lifted and arched her head back, staring at the ceiling. A glimpse of her eyes made me gasp. Warm golden orbs covered her blood-red irises, glowing with magic. She was deep within the spell, and I could see it slowly draw the energy from her body. The items on the table began to gleam wildly, light orbs floating from them and dancing in the air above the table's surface. They began to weave back and forth with each other, almost as if the lights were dancing to a silent tune. Because they danced like no one's watching. The other demon stepped back as Diana moved her arms up and pointed to the dancing lights. Her finger pointed into the air, leading the light to follow where it directed obediently. She drew a large circle in the air, and the light followed like a perfect trail, spreading out and forming a large void in the air, as they finally stopped moving. They burst into a bright light, causing the demons and I to cover our eyes from it. Yeah, that was bright. It engulfed the room but died down just as fast, revealing a small tear in the air. Diana quickly leaned forward and dug her hands into it, before pulling the tear apart, revealing a brand new car? My bedroom! Even better. Diana continued to pull the tear open, giving enough space for me to jump through.
Hurry and go through! This is your chance!
Woohoo! Run! I wasn't going to let it go to waste. I gripped the bottom of my dress and rushed forward, using the momentum to jump into the air and forward towards the void. You mean my bedroom? I could almost reach it. I could feel the air conditioning in my room right on my fingertips. I was...
She will never leave this world alive!
I was denied. The Demon Lord's voice rang through the air just as I saw my fingertips pass through the tear. What stopped the rest of my body was the red light and force, forcing me and Diana back from the opening. Ah! 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 Indeed. I felt my body fly backwards and slam into the wall before I landed on the stone ground. I heard Diana as well land beside me with a painful thud. I looked up and felt my heart break as the tear became wrapped in red lightning, zipping itself closed and vanishing into thin air. No, this could not be. Agreed! Flip the table, curse words.
That should have worked. How could it have failed?
I don't know, maybe you suck at this.
We must have missed something. Was there anything we had forgotten?
Possible.
No. I verified everything myself.
Did you?
Then why was the Demon Lord able to overpower a gate spell?
I highly doubt you know either, brute.
Exactly.
Stop fighting! We need to make a plan and all of you are just being stupid! Stupid, 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 stupid!
Agreed.
Are you alright, Isaiah?
Oh, right, D. We should go check on your queen.
I'm fine. Is...
Nope, I'm still here. I was too lost in my mind to fully understand what was going on around me. I was so close. I felt the other side. I almost made it home. Yeah, that'd be a really short game. Why couldn't I go home? Because we're protagonist goon. Diana's grunt of pain next to me made me shoot my head towards her, and I watched her slowly push herself off of the ground and glare at the table.
The Demon Lord must have done something more than simply bring her here.
Could be.
What could he have done?
Lots of things.
Now, the Demon Lord is incapable of doing anything of the sort. His lackey imps must have done something to her.
Could be. I mean, I'm assuming whose hands grabbed and dragged me here.
A spell?
Curse.
Ah. Cool. I'm cursed. Fuck. I looked to the rabbit woman, seeing her stare wide-eyed at me. The other demons stared at me as well, and suddenly I felt like I was on display. Was something wrong with me? Were we not following this conversation? They think I'm cursed.
She will not leave the demon world alive. He must have placed some sort of curse on her to prevent her from leaving this plane.
Huh.
In order to leave, she'd have to die.
Okay. I don't like this. What? My mind went blank. Did the Demon Lord really curse me? Also, when and how? Was I forced to stay in this world until I died? I could never go back?
Are you suggesting a barrier curse?
Possible.
That would explain the red energy that sealed the tear.
Huh.
But dark magic like that requires...
Yes?
Blood of 1,000 demons.
Ha ha ha.
He must have sacrificed part of his army to cast a curse on her that would prevent her from leaving.
No.
The Demon Lord is that desperate for her.
I know, right?
The only way to break that kind of curse is to kill the caster.
Okay,
The Demon
I'm okay with
Lord
this.
himself.
Hey, we're at war with him. This is perfect. Let's go. Give me your spear. We're gonna go poke someone.
She's trapped here until this war is over.
This war of mine now. My body began to shiver violently. The Demon Lord killed 1,000 demons just to trap me here? Why? Why? I slammed my fist into the ground and began to scream. I want to go home. Why? I could feel the sympathy and anger in the room, but I didn't care. I was beyond livid. I was far past broken. I was seeing red. Yeah, is the Demon Lord's spell still going? Ah! As my voice ripped through the air, a bright light erupted through the room once again. Everyone covered their eyes, but Diana quickly scrambled to get on her knees. There's a joke there, I'm sure. And covered me with her body. She held me tightly as the light invaded the space and slowly began to fade. As the light finally died, everyone moved their hands to see what had happened. In the air was a white tear that was slowly opening, facing down towards the table. Something was coming. I could feel it in the air. The guard summoned his spear and pointed at the tear, glaring it and gritting his teeth.
Something's coming!
Yeah, I just said that, dude. In reply, Diana summoned what looked like a saber and placed it in front of us.
Ready yourselves! It could be the Demon Lord!
Cool. I got these fists? The other demons in the room readied themselves and stared at the tear, either holding a weapon or preparing a spell. I felt the air change, becoming heavier as the tear began to grow. The energy around it began to pulsate, making everyone in the room that much more tense. I stared at the tear as well, frightened as to what was coming. Was it the Demon Lord? His minions? My mind began to cycle through fearful ideas of what was about to appear. Something far, far scarier, I'm sure. Yep, pretty sure. My heart almost stopped. Fallen from the tear and landing on the table were 5 incubi brothers. They were piled on top of one another, having come through one at a time. However, as the last brother landed, the boys fell to one side, toppling off of the table and landing on the floor. The rebels around me stared at the fallen pile of incubi. Yeah, I can't blame them. I'd stare too. I honestly wish we had the art for this. Confused and surprised. As the tear in the air closed, the ogre man was the first to lower his sword.
What the hell?
What the hell indeed.
Who are they?
I have a guess.
Careful! They could be the Demon Lord's men!
Wow! Kinda, but not the way you think. No. The rebels looked at me and I stood up, Diana following and still protecting me, and I stared at the boys on the ground. They all looked dazed and a bit shell-shocked from having fallen twice in rapid succession. I almost couldn't believe it. There they were, right in front of me. My mind couldn't help but remember how I had first met them. They had all been on the floor of my mansion, unconscious and wounded. Now, they were in front of me in the demon world. I know them. Hi, guys. Sup? I stared at the one I was meant to marry, the one in the middle, seeing him slowly shake his head and rise from the ground. They came to rescue me. He came to rescue me. My heart became overjoyed and full of warmth and happiness. I was going to go home. The question was, how? We killed the Demon Lord. We covered this already. The sight of the boys kept the demons' attention. A second tear opened above them, causing everyone to look up. 4 women dropped down from the tear, and somehow managed to fall into the arms of the incubi behind Damien.
Whoa!
Aww. Hi, Gary.
I gotcha.
Yeah, you do. Ah! Aw, you're so cute.
I gotcha. It's okay.
I mean, do you?
Eric!
Aw.
Love, I've got you!
Aw.
James!
Whoa! Are you alright?
Are you? I stared wide-eyed. Their wives came too? Yeah, sure, why not? I watched as the boys and girls finally planted themselves on the ground before looking around. Damien's eyes locked onto me and he hurried towards me. Damien! I swerved around Diana and rushed to Damien, meeting him halfway and wrapping my arms around him tightly.
I'm so glad you're safe.
Me too. I mean, I'm glad you're safe too. I took in his scent, his warmth. He was here in my arms, and I couldn't have asked for anything more. Damien seemed to feel the same as he wrapped his arms around my form and buried his face in my shoulder. Give him a squeeze, simply. I'ma squeeze him! All the squeezes. I tightened my hold on Damien, silently expressing my love and happiness at seeing and feeling him again. He squeezed back lovingly, peppering my neck with kisses. Guys, be cool. As Damien and I had our moment, his brother stepped up near us, almost in a protective circle. Sam, however, moved towards Diana, glaring hard.
You've got 10 seconds to explain why she's
Whoa.
here, bitch.
No, down boy. Also, fucking apologize. You are in her home.
I'm going to ignore that insult for the sake of the bride.
Thank you.
However, I wasn't the one who brought her here.
Exactly.
You're such a terrible liar.
She's really not. I turned to see Matthew and Sam standing in front of me and Damien, ready to attack Diana. The succubus in question, however, seemed unfazed by their attempts at intimidation. Yeah, she's a fucking queen in her castle and her guards are around her. Also, she's a powerhouse in her own right. Guys.
Did she bring you here?
No. Dude, pay attention. What? Turning my head back to Damien, I saw a serious look in his eyes. I had only seen that look once before, when Diana had confronted me and showed me his past. I shook my head. No, she didn't bring me here. It was your daddy. I mean, it was the Demon Lord.
I beg your pardon?
Yeah, your daddy. You heard me.
Are you sure?
Yeah, very sure, sir. Also, shut up, Sam. Damien, ... I stared at Damien, seeing something in his eyes ignite like an angry flame that was quickly growing. His hold on me tightened as he looked at Diana.
Why did he bring her here?
Dude, fucking manners, all of you. I looked over to Diana, knowing what she would explain, but I was surprised to see her flinch back at his expression. Was she scared? Shaking her head, Diana cleared her throat and looked back at Damien, settling back into her uncaring gaze.
He wanted to lure you all back, knowing that at least you, Damien, would chase after her, and the others would follow. Obviously, his plan worked.
Yeah, you guys were kind of dumb on that front. This time it was the boys who flinched in surprise, feeling the weight of her words. However, Damien gathered himself and spoke up again. Oh, but he's flinched. With rules of flinch, you can't take an action this round.
Well, thank you for keeping her safe. We'll be...
Aww. See, you have manners. That's why I like you.
She can't leave.
Yeah, those expressions are worth it.
And why not?
Gee, let's see. Your dad's not stupid?
She's been cursed by the Demon Lord.
Uh-huh.
She can't leave unless she dies or until we kill him.
Yeah, they've tried twice now.
You plan to kill him?
Uh-huh. I'm a help.
We're obviously not going to choose the former. We've been fighting the Demon Lord for 10 years now. Might as well have another reason to kill him.
Woohoo! More reasons. My eyes looked to Damien, wondering what he was thinking. Diana then shrugged.
However, it will take some time to plan out our attack. We can't just walk into his castle and slit his throat.
I mean, we could. Damien finally looked back to me, staring into my eyes as if he was trying to find some sort of response. I stared back, trying to find some hint of what it was that he was thinking about in his eyes. He slowly leaned forward and kissed my forehead, before turning his head back to Diana.
How much time do you need?
Exactly.
1 week.
Cool. I shot my head towards Diana in surprise, as did the rest of the occupants in the room. Seriously? 1 week?
Where is this number coming from, Succubus?
Yeah, this feels like something your general should know.
We need to fully prepare ourselves for the final stage, which I'm certain will only take a couple of days. We've pinned him into a corner. The Demon Lord will fall.
Woohoo!
That's rather bold to assume.
Not really. I mean, Diana is just that kick-ass.
She's right, though. We can prepare everything in that time frame, right?
I don't know.
And if he does the same and attacks us before then?
It'll at least make for an interesting end.
He won't.
Will he, though? I watched as Diana walked over and cleared the table of the materials they had gathered for the gate spell, revealing a physical map of the Abyssal Plains. She pointed to a spot on the map, a peninsula surrounded by water labeled the Decaying Sea.
We'll cast a barrier spell along the edge of the peninsula and around the castle. He and his army won't be able to move from that spot until we break it ourselves, which will be during the siege.
Cool.
Where would we get the energy needed for that kind of spell?
Orgy?
We won't be using energy.
Ah. The other rebel demons in the room suddenly tensed up, staring at Diane in surprise. What was she going to do?
My lady, you're not suggesting...
The Demon Lord has shown how far he is willing to go to win this war. It's only fitting to show the extent we'll go into in response.
Cool.
As much as I agree with you, this seems a little rash.
No, this seems like a very big rash.
What are you guys talking about?
Shh! Matthew, the adults are talking.
Are they allowed to know?
Might as well. We're here now.
I plan to put a barrier curse around the Demon Lord's castle and army. It's
Sounds
temporary,
fun.
so it won't need the blood of 1,000 demons. But it will need the sacrifice of at least one demon life.
Uh-huh. Do we got someone we're sacrificing in mind? I volunteer Sam, personally. Sorry, Carrie. You can do better.
And I assume you'll be sacrificing one of my soldiers.
Why would you assume that? Also, when you assume things, you make an ass out of you and me. But tis.
Is this our only option?
There are other options, but they will most likely take a lot of energy to pull off.
I'm okay with this.
It just depends on what we want to do. If we want to do this immediately, then the barrier curse is indeed the best option.
Cool.
I'm not opposed to performing the curse. As rash as it is, it will make our lives easier in the long run.
Yeah, but easier at what cost?
You expect me to hand over one of my men? My soldiers joined the rebellion to kill the Demon Lord, not to get their throats slit before even seeing the final battle?
Again, why do you assume it's one of your men? What has Diana done in the past that's gotten your people killed?
It's wrong, but can we really afford to spend any more energy? Diana already spent a lot trying to send the human back.
Yeah, sorry about that, Dee.
What is the other option?
The rabbit woman and the fairy moved towards the map and pointed at the peninsula.
We could form tall rock walls around the castle. Box them in.
I'm okay with that.
It will take a lot of our energy, but we can recover in that week period.
Okay, cool, let's go.
And what will stop the Demon Lord from tearing down the walls?
Damien, why must you bring logic to this fight?
I can imbue the walls with holy magic.
Cool. Think you by, and I looked at him, all of us equally surprised. A demon with holy magic? How? 'Cause he's not a demon?
How the fuck did you get holy magic? You look and smell like a demon.
Part of that smell might be Diana. The guard held up a wrapped hand, letting the beads around it jangle with the sudden motion.
I've had the ability to use holy magic ever since I was taken in by my lady's family.
Aw.
There's no doubt that I am a demon, but I can't recall how I gained this ability.
Lies! How is holy magic different than demon magic? Valid question.
It's white magic. Unlike demon magic, holy magic isn't so finicky.
Huh.
Think of it as warding or dispelling magic.
I'm okay.
You can't bless air or anything that doesn't have physical form.
Huh.
But you can bless objects to fight back against other forms of magic.
Cool.
If
Gotcha.
the walls were blessed with holy magic, the Demon Lord wouldn't be able to escape until we released him.
I'm okay with this.
Why not just trap him forever?
'Cause he's an evil, evil man that needs to die?
That's idiotic. He would still be a threat regardless.
Exactly.
Holy magic doesn't last forever. And stone will crumble eventually.
Eventually.
He's right. We wouldn't be able to keep the walls up forever.
True. The situation became more and more complicated the more we discussed it. How were we going to go about this?
We can't just sit around and debate this forever. The longer we wait, the more we risk him striking back at us.
True.
But is it worth killing someone to trap him?
Yeah, that too.
When we finally strike, we will lose hundreds, if not thousands, of soldiers anyway. What difference will it make to lose one more life on top of this?
Okay, well, with that philosophy, Shadow, is it your life you're offering up?
Soulless fuck.
No, I'm pretty sure he does not fuck with... Never mind.
We can still cage him in.
I bit my lip. It was a really tough decision. A curse or a trap. Which was better? Both had their prices, but we had to choose one. From the look of it, no one wanted to speak up. So I felt the urge to say something. Maybe I would be the one who would determine everything. Yes, the person that's only been here, what, 2-3 days? As opposed to the people who've been fighting this friggin' war for 10 years. But which method would be the best choice? Let's go for trap! Everyone in the room looked at me as I finally spoke up. We needed to be better than the Demon Lord. He was willing to sacrifice lives to trap me here. But it only showed how desperate he was to win and how little he valued life. He would lose this war, one way or another. It wasn't worth losing someone who could help turn the tide of the war. When can you put the barrier up?
We can leave after this, meeting is over.
Yes, meeting, air quotes.
Are you sure this is the best choice?
Seems as valid as any. The curse isn't the only option. We need to show that we're better than him. Exactly. Everyone nodded, some in reluctance, while the others did with confidence. I looked at Diana just in time to catch a twitch from her visible eye, but she shook her head and looked down to the rabbit woman.
Are you quite positive this will work?
I am very certain. Since it will be just 3 of us going, we can shadow travel there and be back by the morning.
Cool. Diana looked at her guard and nodded.
Very well. If you believe it will work, then I trust you will make sure it does.
Yeah, cool story, bro. As the guard nodded and slightly bowed to the other demons, seemed to let out a sigh of relief. Were they worried about performing the curse? If someone's gonna be sacrificial lamb, I don't blame them for being worried. Diana shook her head before crossing her arms and looking directly at me.
So, since you'll be here for a while, we might as well give you names that you can use to refer to everyone here.
Cool.
Are we getting human names?
You are way too excited about this.
Must we?
I know, must he? We just call him Soulless Fuck. Diana rolled her eyes and gestured to each demon, naming them on the fly.
For the sake of time, we'll use simple names. This is Rabbit, our magic advisor.
Cool.
Sergeant, commander of our armies. Shadow, leader of our assassins.
Ooh.
And Faye, our nomadic force ambassador.
Cool.
Sergeant, I'm a commander, succubus. Shouldn't my name be Commander?
Probably.
It's easier on the tongue, though, to say Sergeant.
Not really. Commander, Sergeant. I actually think Commander is easier to say.
My lady, what shall they call me?
Holy? Boy band? Diana looked at Sarah for a moment before turning towards me, a look of seriousness emanating from her eyes.
You may call him Sarah.
Hey, Sarah.
He is my personal guard, and he is always by my side.
Really? Always, huh? That must make going to the bathroom really awkward. The other demons in Sarrow seemed to be surprised. Was Sarrow his true demon name? Why would she give me his true name? Why do you think?
Are you sure?
Yeah, are you?
Call him only if your life depends on it. Do
Will
not
do.
abuse this permission.
Okay, gotcha. Her eyes seemed to burn as she gazed into mine, full of hard intent and warning. I mentally noted her seriousness as she ran a hand through her hair.
Well, now that we have a plan and introductions are out of the way, I believe we can end this meeting. We have
Cool.
a lot to accomplish in 1 week.
Yes, we do.
What about us? You don't expect us to sit around.
Yeah, I think they kind of have some daddy issues they want to work out.
Actually, I do. You all don't belong on the battlefield.
Agreed.
Excuse me? Just hold on a...
Irene, I appreciate the fire there, but we're guests.
I will not take untrained and unarmed beings into a war zone.
Well, the boys aren't untrained, and they're definitely not unarmed. Their wives vary greatly. Based off previous Let's Plays in the series, we know Carrie's a witch, we know Irene is a succubus herself. I don't really know if Iridessa or Matthew's wife, whose name is escaping me in this moment, have powers or not. But I'm going to assume there are things they could do to defend themselves. Hold on! I interjected, stepping forward and crossing my arms at Diana. She seriously wasn't going to make us stay back while she fought the Demon Lord, was she? Bitch, we can fight too. Diana squinted at me, pressing her lips together into a fine line. However, I meant what I said. We could fight too.
You expect me to trust that you can fight in a war?
Uh-huh.
Let me and my brothers train then. We're demons, for fuck's sake. We know how to fight.
Exactly. The boys stared at Diana as she turned her head towards Sam. He was right, though. They knew how to train, so they knew how to fight. That's a bit of a jump. If they fought with the rebellion, there would be a better chance of winning this war.
You all realize this is a war, correct? You can die here.
Uh-huh.
We understand completely.
Do you?
We know what the risks are.
Do you? Do you really, Iridessa? Diana could only stare at our group as we challenged her proclamation. I wrapped my hand around my fiancé's arm, frightened at the idea of participating in a war, but knowing that we needed all the strength we could muster to finish off the Demon Lord. This was the only way I could go home. Defeated, Diana sighed and rubbed her temples.
Very well. I can't exactly keep you here like prisoners, so it will be up to you if you choose to train for battle. However, I highly suggest just staying here and allowing us to handle it.
I understand her frustration. This was not something she needed this close to the finish line. At the same time, maybe not turn away willing allies. I nodded, as did the others. This was really happening. We were going to kill the Demon Lord, and we had 1 week to either prepare for war or wait it out. Diana turned towards me and looked down at my outfit. I had nearly forgotten that I was still in my wedding dress, until Diana pointed at my chest.
Lumen infere, bellum tebescere, serene.
Huh. Does that land for take your pants off? I stared at her, unsure of why she was speaking in Latin, until I felt the fabric around my body shift and change. I quickly looked down to see my wedding dress morph into an outfit that looked perfect for the demon world. Okay, no. Bitch, I will cut you. This was a dream dress. They are not cheap, they take time to make. I'm going to guess it was tailored specifically for her. Or if not tailored, altered specifically for her. No. The white top shifted into a long-sleeved, oversized tunic with a leather corset and vest, while the bottom part of the gown split and wrapped around my legs, forming into dark leggings. My shoes stretched into long, knee-high boots. And considering they were open-toe sandals, that's quite a stretch. But tis.
Hey, you look really nice. Good choice.
Considering it wasn't my choice, and she fucking ruined my dream dress. I have words to say about this. I blushed, getting used to the feel of the outfit. The corset wasn't tight, but it was still something new along with the rest of the garb. Damien smiled and wrapped an arm around my shoulder, hugging me to him.
You look really nice.
She ruined my dress. Thank you. You ruined my dress.
Faye, Rabbit, you both should finish your preparations and head over to the Demon Lord's castle for the spell.
Yeah, get out of here. Shoo.
How are you going to get there?
How else? We bicycle.
I'll get us there, no problem.
Just make sure we don't get stuck there or lost.
Yeah, just don't take that wrong turn at Albuquerque, as Bugs Bunny used to say.
No promises.
See you next year, Rabbit. And Faye.
Zero, make sure the job is done.
Yeah, best send someone competent with them.
I shall, my lady.
Bye-bye. Serial, Faye, and Rabbit began to make their way out of the room, as Diana turned to me and my group. As they left, they let a small sigh.
I will take you to some rooms you may rest in.
Yes, I think rest is a very good idea, because looking at the clock, we've been going for a bit. When we come back, we'll press on with the story and, yeah, get caught up with Damien, because, it's been a few days and things have happened and stuff. But that'll be next time. So, until next, tackle kiddo.